Folks, Brian Lee here. You might remember from the last video that our project is coming out of a sister village relationship, and the village in the United States is called Madrid. We're in the state of New Mexico. Now, this, of course, is for folks that aren't from Madrid. Of course, you all know that stuff, but for those of you in Africa and those folks that might be part of the project that found out about us through the internet, I just thought it would be nice to show you guys what Madrid is like. Madrid was a small coal mining village started back in the late 1800s, and it's one of the few places where they could get both kinds of coal, and there was quite an extensive mine system underground. And they also, in the nearby area, would mine turquoise and gold and silver and nickel, but Madrid was basically built around coal. And so that's where we're driving now, is up into the mountains. You see the Ortiz Mountains there in the distance. And unfortunately, my muffler fell out. That's why this truck is so noisy. But Madrid was a coal mining town that was used a lot to run Los Alamos during World War II, and they used it for heating. And so there was a regular run from Madrid to Los Alamos with coal, and then you could get out of going to the war if you worked in the coal mines, because you were supporting the war effort that way. So once the war was over, people no longer had any ulterior motives for working in the coal mines, and the coal business in Madrid took a big hit. And then ultimately the town was closed down, sort of, and sold for I guess around $250,000 was what they offered it for back in the early 1970s, but nobody bought it. So they ended up selling it out lot by lot, piecemeal, a lot to the folks that had been either renting or in some cases squatting in the buildings. One of the fun things about the buildings is that a lot of them were shipped here on the train in pieces, and I believe they came out of a Sears and Roebuck catalog. One of the other fun things about Madrid is they had quite an extensive electrical system that they used to do a very elaborate Christmas light display, and they also had a baseball team that was quite well known, and I guess they were maybe a feeder team for the Yankees or something like that. But so we're just coming into Madrid now, and up on our right is going to be the gold mine, or I'm sorry, the baseball field. And here's the old schoolhouse, and what we call the Adobe schoolhouse. And this building up on the right here, the white one, is the boarding house, which was actually a boarding house when people would come down to Madrid way back in the day. So this is Main Street, and back in the 70s, once the town got sold to individuals, a lot of people that moved here were artists and hippies, and so a lot of these buildings got remade, and a lot of them now are galleries. If you saw the movie Wild Hogs, this was the diner, Maggie's Diner, where all of the drama went down. There have actually been quite a few movies that were filmed here. This was the stores that were owned by the mining company, and the miners that worked here were paid in scrip. There's the old scale where they would weigh the trucks bringing coal out. And then up here is the famous Mineshaft Tavern, which was at one point, the bar was actually had a tunnel that went right from the mine into the bar, very conveniently. And it's still quite a hub of activity in the town, with a lot of music and live shows, and And some of you might know that my job in Madrid is to run the water system for the town. And so that's where I'm going now, and that's probably where we'll end this video. And a lot of the red in the hills here is tailings that are left over from mining. And you can see up on that hillside, there was a road that went way up there. It goes all the way along the valley. And up front here you see my water tank. And this is pretty much the end of the town of Madrid, the south side of Madrid. Talk to you later, folks.